And our Attorney General, Letitia James, how ghoulish is this? Tried to stop Google from allowing CompassCare to be on a Google search so women could find pregnancy services if they decided to choose life.
We're talking about government collusion with private entities to deprive pro-life citizens of their constitutional rights, freedom of speech, First Amendment, freedom of religion, and equal protection under the law, 14th Amendment.
I don't know if you know this, but there is a growing trend in this country, and it's led by the radical left, and it endangers the godly work of pro-life pregnancy centers from violent attacks by radical abortion activists. These domestic terrorists, frankly, want to destroy these centers, and their criminal acts are being ignored by local authorities and the feds alike. But there's hope. Congresswoman Claudia Tenney from New York's 24th District has introduced the Pregnancy Resource Center Defense Act. Joining her is Reverend Jim Harden, the CEO of CompassCare, and together they're working to ensure that these centers all over the country can continue to provide compassionate care as well as support to all kinds of women and families in need without having to face threats and violence. Please welcome two heroes, Congresswoman Tenney and Reverend Harden. Thank you, guys. It is great to have you back, Congresswoman. We've loved having you on the show before. This really got to you, I think, in an emotional way, and you've taken this on as a cause. So what was it that just lit your fire and said something is not right here?
We have had so many of these disastrous and tragic situations, and the work that Jim Harden and his group and team do at CompassCare is just life-saving.
Yeah.
They're kind, they're compassionate, they're saving lives, they're giving women who choose life an opportunity to have their baby, to support their health, their nutrition. They support them after the baby is born. And yet we have this radical pro-abortion type of mantra in New York. We even have the governor who wants to have abortion tourism. We have the attorney general.
Abortion tourism. I want you to describe and tell our audience, what does that mean, abortion tourism? It sounds gruesome.
So a lot of people were concerned, and I know there's all this discussion about how our abortion rights are under attack. And, the Dobbs decision merely said it's up to the states.
Yeah.
So unfortunately in New York State, if you're pro-life like I am, New York allows abortion up to the moment of birth. It's really unlimited, the rights to have an abortion. And I've debated this bill on the floor for a few years when I was a member of the New York State Assembly, and it finally passed. We never thought it would pass because we had a Republican Senate. Now we have a veto-proof majority in the legislature, and our governor thinks that if women can't get abortions in other states, then she's going to bring them in to have their late-term abortion or whatever they want. And Jim's group, CompassCare, has bravely stood in the breach and provided these options. And our Attorney General, Letitia James, how ghoulish is this? Tried to stop Google from allowing CompassCare to be on a Google search so women could find pregnancy services if they decided to choose life.
Jim, I got to just jump in. This is a government agency telling a private business search engine not to let people find information that they are intentionally looking for.
Yes. We're talking about government collusion with private entities to deprive pro-life citizens of their constitutional rights, freedom of speech, First Amendment, freedom of religion, and equal protection under the law, 14th Amendment. I mean, what's happening right now is a collusion that has been, just revealed. But it goes all the way to the DOJ, the Biden administration, the FBI. They're refusing to investigate. There's been over 300 attacks on pro-life organizations since the illegal...
One of them was yours. What all did they do to your center, CompassCare?
Well, 30 days after the original firebombing in Madison, Wisconsin, pro-abortion Antifa, Jane's Revenge, issued an ultimatum. 30 days, pregnancy centers, you got 30 days to shut down or you're going to get it again. Well, on day 30, we got firebombed. Firebombed. Multiple Molotov cocktails, multiple perpetrators, $500,000 of damage. 2 firefighters were injured in putting out the blaze. And they wrote another communique saying, we did it. You saw what we can do in Buffalo. We're going to be all over the country. Next time, though, if you don't shut down, it's not going to be so easily cleaned up as fire and graffiti, which is a murder threat. These people want to kill us. They're calling us Christian fascists.
There was once a time when Democrats were as pro-life as Republicans. In fact, sometimes they were more. John F. Kennedy was a strong pro-life president and member of the Senate before, as was Robert F. Kennedy. These were, nobody doubts whether they were Democrats, but they were pro-life.
And Catholic.
And Catholic, and faithful Catholics in their sense that they were staying true to the teachings of their church. What has happened? And now I don't think I can name a real pro-life member of the legislature in D.C. So what can we do to bring at least awareness that this is not, and it should not be, a partisan issue?
No.
It ought to be a human rights issue.
I think more education, understanding of what's really going on, and the laws. I think a lot of people, I find, when I was advocating after the Dobbs decision was made, where it was left up to the states. Remember, this was not a bill that said that abortions were banned. It was left to the states. It was decided by the Constitution. And a lot of people didn't realize that we had late-term abortion in New York and some of these states where this extremist position is dominating by really far-left Democrats. I think they're more Marxist in a way. And so that's why I came up with the Pregnancy Resource Center Defense Act, to give them resources to find these people guilty of crimes, from misdemeanors to felonies, increase the penalties for people who are going to attack these pro-life centers. Look, we had the same type of bill come into the House of Representatives, and all but one Democrat voted against saving lives. Only one Democrat from Texas voted against late-term abortion. So I don't know how it's got to be lack of education, because I'll tell you, people just don't understand what's really happening. And the violence against these centers is really appalling. I know we have a lot of violence in our society.
Sure.
But against innocent life, to not understand that, we have a right to protect. And I will say something, one thing about a lot of the Democrats, they hide behind this, well, we're pro-choice. Well, when you are trying to stop women from getting to a pregnancy center where they choose life, that's a choice.
Right.
You're not pro-choice anymore. You're pro-abortion.
Exactly.
You're pro-death.
I think we need to quit using the term pro-choice and say pro-abortion versus pro-life, because that's really what we are. If anyone ever calls me anti-abortion, I say, no. It's not that I'm against abortion. I believe every life has worth and value. There's no such thing as a disposable, expendable human being. Every human being has purpose.
And it's because we're all made in the image of God. That's why. God gives us dignity. We have inherent value from the womb to the tomb without partiality. When a government agency or somebody in an elected position decides that they should vest themselves with the ability to disqualify any category of person from protection under the law, that person is representing a tyranny. It's not government that endows us. It's our Creator that endows us.
Absolutely, 100%. Let me tell you what I hope. I hope that people will reach out to you, Congresswoman, as well as to you, Jim. We're going to get links on our website, because I want people to reach out and to say, how can I help you by making contact with my own congressperson? And Jim, I hope they'll reach out to you and say, how can I help you rebuild CompassCare?
Thank you.
You've been under assault and attack. It's disgusting what has happened to you. And sadly, what's happened to those precious women who have come to you for help, and they've got to walk through the debris of a charred fire scene to get some help. So I say, I know you're going to want to follow Congresswoman Claudia Tenney and Reverend Jim Harden on social media and connect with CompassCare, as well as the Congresswoman. You can find links to do all of that at Huckabee.tv.